Session 29 of Industrial Relations and Labour Legislation of 6th semester BBA of Mangalore University. In this session, we shall study essential conditions or prerequisites for the success of collective bargaining. First one is a favorable political climate. The government and the public opinion must be convinced that collective is the best method of regulating employment conditions. The government should remove all legislative restriction which hampers collective bargaining. It can also confer a right to bargain collectively, which lay down the form and consent of collective agreement, register these agreements, and assist in their enforcement. Second, freedom of association. Collective bargaining is not possible if employees are not free to form trade unions as they wish. A strong and representative trade union is required to bargain with the employer on equal basis. In some countries, governments have made illegal any attempt by employers to interfere with the right of workers to form their unions. Trade unions should have enough members to justify entering into collective bargaining. Inter-union rivalry often creates instability in unions. Recognition of unions. Employers should be required by law to give recognition to representative trade unions. It is in the interest of an employer to recognize a strong union to avoid strikes and to safeguard against undercutting labor standards. Willingness to give and take. Both employers and union leaders should bargain in a spirit of compromise and reciprocity. If either party adopts an adamant attitude, bargaining will not be possible. Willingness to give and take does not mean that concessions made by one side must be marked by equal concessions by the other side. One party may win concessions over the other depending upon their relative strength, but exaggerated demands must be toned to reach an agreement. Fair labor practices. Both the employer and trade union should avoid unfair labor practices. Collective bargaining is possible only in an atmosphere of mutual recognition and respect. Management must recognize and accept the workers' right to organize and fight for justice. Similarly, workers and their union must recognize and accept the employer's right to manage. In the absence of such recognition, collective bargaining is a mere trial of strength. Problem-solving attitude. A negotiating team on both the sides must adopt a problem-solving rather than a fighting approach. The team should consist of persons with an analytical mind, objective outlook, and cool temper. They must also have an intimate knowledge of operations, working conditions, and other relevant factors. They must have full authority to speak and take decisions on behalf of their part. Continuous dialogue. A dead end must be avoided and the talk should continue. At times, it may be necessary to leave highly controversial issues for the time being and narrow down the field of disagreement on other matters. As long as talks continue, agreement can be possible. Availability of data. The employer must ensure that all the required records are readily available. Facts and figures concerning rates of pay, fringe benefits, manpower forecast, technological changes, provide a rational basis for negotiations. But unless the trade union believes in the data and accepts the same, collective bargaining process may be hampered. Reference: